Welcome to Hobie on YouTube. I just did a video on this Victorinox Evoke, which is a mid-back lock knife, and it got me thinking, what other lockback knives do I have that maybe I haven't shared yet on the channel? And just one. It's this Boker Scout, which is a really cool knife. This one's obviously used. And I thought instead of just showing this knife, I would show all 6 lockback knives I have. That's all I have currently. I know that's not really a collection of lockback knives. It's just a little grouping. I know a lot of you guys that collect a lot more modern and contemporary knives than I do probably have a whole lot more than this and could have forgotten more than I know. But I just thought I would show you the Boker Scout that I have and then kind of reference it against the other lockbacks. So the Boker Scout that I have is the one they brought out, I think, in 2020, right after their 150th anniversary in 2019. They changed the badge, and they took their Scout, which typically has a clip point saber ground blade, and gave it a full flat grind spear point. So this is just an option. You can still get the other style blade, but I've always wanted one of these, and they have this beautiful desert ironwood, which is just a really nice exotic wood. With this badge and the desert ironwood, this actually matches 2 other modern Boker knives that I have, so I've kind of got a little set of desert ironwood Bokers. But the reason I've never bought one of these is because they're so dang expensive. The Boker Scout, which is the full-size one, it's 4 1/8 inches closed. So this is their biggest one, the Scout, 4 1/8 inches closed. By the way, they have a Junior Scout, which is 3 inches closed. No, I'm sorry, 3 1/2 inches closed. And a Boy Scout, which is 3 inches closed. Now, 3 inches, that's a tiny little knife. I don't know who would want a lockback like this at 3 inches, but, sure, it'd be pocket friendly. I think most people probably would go for the Junior at 3 1/2 or a pocket knife. This is a little too big to be a pocket knife. It really needs to go in a sheath. I didn't get a sheath with it because I bought it used, obviously. I don't know if they come with a sheath. But I do have a Buck 112 sheath that I want to try it in here in a minute. But these things are so dang expensive. Made in Germany, in Zolligen. So a lot of hand fitting and finishing, I think. So yeah, not cheap, but good grief. These currently retail for $357. Now you can get them, at a knife discounter like Knife Center or something for $303 right now. But I would never pay that for this knife. It's nice, but it's nickel silver. And one thing about these is that is one piece of nickel silver per side. So they center or mill out this piece of nickel silver, and it's the bolsters and liner, if you will, are integrated. They're one piece, which is really cool, just like the Bucks. And then they give this knife a really cheeky handle. I mean, it feels so great in the hand. This is all very shaped. I guess you can see how this is shaped. There's a lot of shaping going on here, and it makes a really, really neat looking knife. I also like the way they did the curved bolsters. It reminds me a little of the old Buck 111. But yeah, cheapest you can get this right now, I think about $303. And I think this is kind of Boker's answer to the Buck 112. These have not been out as long. I can't really remember when they started the Scout, but I remember a year or 2 ago, maybe, they had a 30th anniversary model, so at least 30 years. And so the Spearpoint was a big deal for them to offer that as an option. But I really like the knife. The blade steel is Böhler. That's an Austrian knife steel maker. This is their N690, which I have on a couple other Bokers, and I've had really good luck with it. It holds an edge pretty well. It's not a super steel, but it's sharpenable and holds the edge really well. I think it's a fine steel, so I'm really happy with the N690, and it's a little better than your average run-of-the-mill steel, 420C or something like that. Here's the tang stamp on this, if anyone's interested. If we can get that in focus. Boker, Zoligan, and then the blade steel N690 and the chestnut tree there. And that's it. So just a few final things. The blade is 3 1/8 inches. It's an 1/8 inch thick, pretty thick to the point. The lockup is just phenomenal. You know, it feels super safe. Really tightly made. This one's beat up. Somebody used this knife. Good for them. That's what they're for. And so the blade's got some scratches. The bolsters have some scratches. And you can always tell when somebody's been carrying their knife in their key pocket. The back's always dinged up like that. So not the prettiest thing, but I don't have to worry about, hey, I got this $357, you know, shelf queen that I can't use. So I didn't pay but about $100 for this. And it's nice. Now the pressure's off. I can use it all I want. So that's the Boker Scout with the Spearpoint blade in the Desert Ironwood with the modern badge. The Boker Scout reminds me, as I said, a lot of the Buck 112, which I have 2 of. Here's the classic version. This one's in nickel silver with Buck's drop point blade, saber ground drop point. And of course I added that thumb stud. But there's so many similarities between these knives. First of all, they're about the same size. And they're about the same weight too. I think this one is about 5.4 ounces. This one comes in at 6 ounces. But again, this one's got the one-piece side here with the bolsters and the liner kind of all one piece milled out of nickel silver. It has, you know, exotic wood. That's ebony. And it's a lockback. Buck here in the U.S., you know, lockback knives kind of synonymous with buck knives. They really kind of popularized that with the 110 Hunter. And this knife just works very well, has great lockup. You know, is the fit and finish, you know, and detail and everything as good as the German-made knife? Probably not. I happen to get a good one here. But, you know, this knife retails for $80. So there's the difference. You could, how many of these could you get for one of these? You could drop them in the lake all day long. All right, that's the Buck 112 Ranger, the kind of classic, and I also have the Sport. I really like this knife. I just wish Buck would offer the drop point in it. So this one's the one that's got the aluminum instead of nickel, silver, or brass slabs here on the side, and micarta handles. And then they've given it a thumb stud and a pocket clip. So they've modernized it, and it's a really nice knife. Comes with their upswept clip point blade and the saber grind. And I would love to have one with the Spearpoint. I'd probably sell this, the drop point rather. I'd probably sell this and buy another one with the drop point, even if the trade cost me like $50. I'd do that. So Buck, if you're out there listening, I know you got that blade and you drop it in knives all the time. How about this one? Buck 112 Ranger Sport. And then you know, these have been seen on the channel before, so I'm not spending a lot of time on them. Oh, by the way, I've got 6 knives here from 4 different countries. Switzerland, Germany, of course, U.S., and this is a case knife, also from the U.S. This is a mid-back lock, back lock, back lock, back lock, and now we've got another mid-back lock from the U.S., case XX. This is the tribal lock, and just a great knife, so pretty. Oh my gosh. You know, case, all their knives, the nicer ones, if you shine them up, they all look like jewelry or something. So this one has the flat ground tribal Zulu spear. Zulu spear. You can see the fingerprints, just a fingerprint magnet. And again, great action on this one, locks up really tight. Just a fine knife. We've seen that a couple times before, so I just want to put that out there. Where can we fit this in? And then finally, another country represented with a mid-back lock knife. Grohmann from Pictou, Nova Scotia, Canada. So I wanted to get a friend a pocket knife from Canada. A friend that lives in Canada, or used to. And I couldn't find any Canadian manufacturers of pocket knives. I came across Grohmann, which is really, they're really known for their fixed blade hunting, birding knives and things like that, but they do have a handful of folders. And this is the Mini Russell Lockback. It's a smaller version of the Russell Lockback. They downsized it to make it like a pocket knife. It's 4 inches closed with a 3-inch blade, high carbon stainless steel. Now just look at the shape of that knife. Isn't that great? Look at the shape of that blade. I don't know what you would call that, but it's a really great knife blade shape for birding or fishermen. It's comes with, they call this nickel silver bolster, but it must have a lot of brass in it. And the brass liners, supposed to be nickel silver pins. It all looks pretty brassy to me, but those are gorgeous rosewood scales on that. And again, it's a mid-lock, but I just want you to look at the fit and finish of this. Look at this blade to spring transition here. Isn't that great? How tight that is across the back for a lockback knife. And you know, good blade centering. And you know what? This was a second. So I got this cheap, or actually it was a gift to me, and I think it was bought cheaper because it was a second. You see the S there on the blade for second? And honestly, I can't remember what was wrong with it. I think a couple of the pins were snaggy, so I just ground them down and polished it out. And now the knife, I would say, is a 10 out of a 10. I mean, it's really, the action's really easy on it. Grohmann, Pictou, Nova Scotia, Mini Russell Lockback. And guess what? I was trying to get some specs on this before the video, so I went to their website. These are on sale now for 83 bucks. I guess you got to pay shipping, but 83 bucks? If you get one as nice as I got, it's well worth it. Okay, I can't really fit them all in here, but there's the 6 lockback knives that I have. I think I've said everything I need to say. I thank you for watching, and have fun collecting.